life after death. These are ideas, concepts that have affected humankind since the dawn of time. We only have two certainties in life. One is birth and one is death. For those of us who are believers, we go to another place. We go to heaven for the good. We go to hell for the bad. But what if science had the ability to guarantee a man or a woman's immortality? Well, this is the theme of Glass Bullet Pictures' new movie. And that new movie is Cadaver Man. Our new movie is horror, but it is also not horror. And I say that as the writer because do we want horror in an age where we are surrounded by horror? If horror is to be relevant, then it has to say something. And our new film is as much a comment on the society and the world in which we live as it is a tale of horror. And it is truly a tale of horror. As our main character said, I was not shocked by the mortuary technician beckoning me over to a giant freezer, opening the lid and then producing a foot to dangle mischievously in my face as he giggled loudly off his face on formaldehyde. But rather, as I glanced towards the 40-odd bodies laid out on tables, I was instantly drawn to the corpse of a headless male. And in that awful moment, I felt like throwing up as my destiny and the destiny of every living person today became clear. Death. That character is James Carter, official vagrant and addict, but to a life I disown and would forever be rather known as a gentleman. Yeah, Cadaver Man has many inspirations. One must be classic horror. Certainly in my conversations with the horror expert D.T. Wilson, we watched a number of films produced by James Whale back in the 30s, and I must say some of those kind of classic movies have been an influence on this particular movie. Now, the movie's contemporary, so it is going to be set in modern day. In saying that, I'm going to create some flashback sequences to the Victorian era, and also to where the main character imagines himself to be experimented on. And within these scenes, I'm hoping to delve back into the kind of gothic, kind of black and white imagery which was created by James Whale all those many years ago. Because the main character, and when I was writing it, I was imagining Glasgow, so imagining this guy in Glasgow down in his luck. He's been a petty dealer, he's done lots of kind of nasty, horrible things. But when he's released from hospital, he doesn't imagine himself to be that person. And he almost feels as if he's got a new mind, that he's a new person, and he starts to look at his city and his so-called friends and his country with a new perspective. And he begins to question lots of things. Yes, I went right back to the original 1817 novella. It's actually quite a short novel. I'd never read it before. I was familiar with the movies, but never the source of these movies. And one reason why I wanted to do that, it was partially for copyright reasons, but the original novel is actually out of copyright. So if you're a film producer, you can actually tell the Frankenstein story because it's in the public domain. So that's one reason why I went back to the original novel. But the other reason why I went back to the original novel is, loosely speaking, my narrative in Cadaver Man still follows the original novel in terms of the creation of the monster, the monster escaping, the monster being mistakenly accused of killing a small girl, and then having a kind of mob that basically wants to track him down and kill him. So that core story still remains. There's some actors I have worked with in the past that will be coming into the movie. There's one particular actor who I've very much kind of developed the story around, so I'm hoping he'll be free to do the movie when we finally shoot. So there'll be actors who have done previous movies with me, but in addition to that, I'm also hoping to pull in a star, if I can use that term, to actually play the kind of scientist, the guy behind the institute, the guy who basically brings James Carter back from the dead.